Welcome to the penultimate round of the SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup. We are here at the Swartkorps Raceway. The weather has absolutely played ball. We're in for a scorcher. But the question is today, with the title being so close, who's going to come out on top going into the final round? Is it going to be Van Bredar, who's taken pole position, or is it going to be Jason Lamb, who heads up the second row? Stay tuned with us. We're going to cover the action today, but it's going to be fierce and it's going to be fast. Sandy, last time we chatted, it was a bit of a crash. There's a bit of rash on the tailpiece, but back today, you haven't ridden since last time. The bike looks pretty much brand new, but take us through it. How's the thought process? How's the riding been going since the crash at Kyalami?
Well, carrying a few track rashes from Kyalami, but yeah, new fairings is all fitted and starting to look pretty again. But it's getting the feel back on track and just getting over that fear of crashing again. So that's mentally a mental game, and going forward, just breaking through that. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you were flying at Kyalami, I think probably your fastest times ever, and then these things happen. But coming back here now, you haven't ridden Swartkorps for a while. So thought process going into Swartkorps normally now with a crash as well. Where are you going to make changes? How are we going to improve and get you back to your quick times below the 8s?
Just connecting those dots is what my suspension technician always tells me, is connecting those dots, coming from your entry, apex, exits, and just running lines, is enjoy yourselves. Yeah.
So with that being said, if you were to give a newbie rider that's coming to a track day to try and find some time or learn how to run the track, what one piece of advice would you give them in terms of improving their lap times?
Relax. Just don't hold onto the bike too much, because we get those calluses that looks oh so pretty. So yeah, but otherwise it's just relax, ride, have fun, and always just, I say, vision is 99% of all riding. So look ahead and always look where you want to go.
There we have it. Good luck, and then we'll see how race 1 goes. Jason Lamb, it's penultimate round, it's championship time. Bit of pressure, you've taken the long trip to get up here. What's the thought process and the mindset going into this weekend? Because you're on the second row, but on the outside, so not a bad place to start.
No, that's a good place to start. I haven't ridden here since last year, so it's taken me a bit of time to get back into it. But yeah, we can work from 4th place. I'm only here to race with one guy, to be honest with you. So the other guys can do what they want to do. I'm going to focus on him.
So going now into the race, what's the game plan? Are you going to try and strike early? Are you going to shadow him? Because obviously, like you said, you're racing one guy. You don't want guys getting in between. So what's the game plan? You try and clear out, or are you going to sort of shadow and catch him by surprise in the last corner?
Motorbike racing, you have a game plan, but you actually got to see what happens after turn 1, and we'll take it from there.
Peter de Vos, it's been a while, but you're back, and you're back in full force. Good round at Kyalami. Back here today, mixing up with the guys, second row qualifying. Take us through the build-up to the weekend and how the qualifying's gone so far.
Okay, so I qualified 6. I'm not happy with that. As any racer, you want to be in the front, and I know I've aged a bit, but you're like a 21 trapped in an old body, and I think I'm kind of getting back to where I was, and I prefer the long tracks, the faster tracks, the places like East London and Cape Town and Kyalami. But I'm hoping to do good today. If I could take the time to say thanks to my sponsors, Jonking Goze Outsourcing, and the Glam Fam, and our series sponsors, SunBet, Red Square, Bridgestone, Kawasaki. Thank you guys. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here.
In closing now, because I know, like you said, you're back and you want to do better, and there are 2 guys in particular that are fighting for a championship. If you find yourself in between those guys, what's the thought process? Will you move over, or are you going to make a race of it?
Look, you always want to make a race of it, but I don't want to be the one that causes one of them to crash or do something stupid. So if I make a move, it will be a good move. I'm not gonna be there to be the person that causes one of them to lose it. So if I see they're having a good ding dong, I'll even move over. As much as I want to win, I want them to have a good memory too.
Henk, I mean, good round at Kyalami. Had a good Thunderbike round, but I know you've made a few changes. Take us through that, because obviously you're chasing goals today.
Yeah, definitely. We made a few changes last week at Red Star. Coming back here, different track, so we needed to change some sprockets and try and get more drive out of the corner. And we'll see what we can do.
So on the change now, what were you running at Red Star? Because I mean, there's quite a punchy track. Coming here, I'd assume you run the same gearing, but obviously not. What did you have, and what are you going to?
Well, what I prefer is a bit longer gearing here actually, because it's smoother out of the corners. So, yeah, it's all personal preference. And so, yeah.
There we have it. Change the sprocket. Let's see how he goes in race 1. Lubus, it hasn't been the easiest couple of rounds for you. Kyalami didn't end the way you wanted it to. And then coming in this weekend, a bit of an off in 7, but you've had a busy 12 hours. Take us through the build-up from the last race to this one and now going into race 1.
Yeah, Cliff, it hasn't been easy. From Kyalami, which it was a big disappointment. Made mistakes. But at least thanks to Shop 74, Wayne Shelley rebuilt the bike. Got the bike running, tested it here, did good times. Yesterday, arriving at the track, we had hope for good lap times. First session, it was still a trial and error with the gearing. Second session, when we started feeling comfortable, started pushing on the third lap, lost the front into 10.7. Which was quite a fast one, and I did not think that's a corner where I would lose it. I mean, I was worried about 10.2, 10.5, but 10.7 was not on my mind. But so yeah, it hasn't been easy. Bit of work overnight. Guys put in the work. Sifiso, Ian loaned us a front wheel because we have a buckle on the front wheel. So yeah, we managed to get the bike running. Tested this morning in the last qualifying. It's not too bad, it's rideable, so we'll see in the race.
So what's the mindset now? Because obviously you're coming off 2 tough rounds. We know you've got the pace, we know you're quick, but now, like you said, the bike doesn't feel the same way as what it did yesterday. What's the mindset now going to race 1? Are we just going to finish, or are we just going to go out there and attack because we've got nothing to lose?
Look, I'm tempted to go out and attack, but I've got to be realistic. I'll just see the first few laps where I am and how the bike feels, and then we'll just build up from there. But if it doesn't feel too good and we don't have a good start, there's no need for me to take risk again.
Sifiso, it's been a busy weekend for you because I believe you've also been fixing bikes and helping out Libis as well. But take us through the weekend so far. Times are good. It's really close in your sort of time bracket in there. There's a lot of guys that you're going to be battling with. What's the mindset for race 1?
I need to launch like a bat out of hell. That's the mindset. And then take it from there. But yeah, it's been an interesting race, weekend build up so far. And yeah, yesterday I was a little bit dampened to see Lubas coming off, especially build up coming from Kyalami. So we had to work over the clock to get his bike. And like I said before, I don't care what happens today. For me, he's the ride of the day to get this bike like this. It came with oil on the side and he got it right. And back to our race. It's very tight. I think from 9 up to 18, we are all within a second. So it's going to be interesting how the race pan out. But first things first, get out of the line. And then it's important, track position here in Swartkops. Track position is very important. But I'm looking forward to it. I mean, this is our home race, so we should deliver. And I'm just outside of the top 15, and I need to get those points.
So, like you said, track positioning is very important, and I agree with you, especially around here. Where are you on the grid, inside or outside, and what's the preference?
I'm happy where I'm starting. I'm very, very happy where I'm starting. So, outside, just do what I have to do. Okay, I can't tell everyone the tricks, what I need to do, but I'm starting in a better position with being on the outside.
Damien, you're back after Kyalami, and I mean, you're proving some points here, but playing with the lap record and then a little bit of a spill. Take us through the build-up so far.
So yesterday, first qualifying, I was slightly over-eager to get going, which I was a bit silly. I mean, there's 3 qualifying practices, plus this morning. So I had a massive high side out of turn 5. I just opened the throttle to the stop. I found the limits of this bad boy. So that was an issue. My left ankle's really stuffed. I can hardly walk. But anyway, fixed the bike, went out in qualifying 2. Checked everything was good. Then qualifying 3, I managed to get second on the grid, which I was really chuffed with considering the day I had. So we did myself and Trevor 103.6. Trevor did a 103.5 yesterday, very close to lap record. So lap record would be Stuart McLeod with a 103.52. So we're going to try damn hard.
Okay, with that being said, I mean, you coming in now like sort of like a wild card entry in that. There are guys involved in a championship. Is that something that comes across your mind, or you're not worried about that at all?
To be honest, yeah, so the same thing happened at Kalami where I couldn't get through. Yeah, that was my first round, but yeah, today if I need to get through, I'm going to have to go through. Especially being on the 2011 bike, the newer bikes do have a little bit more grunt. This thing can do the lap time no problem. Only the straights is where it, in fact, its mid-corner handling is phenomenal. So yeah, unfortunately, I need to come through if I do get a crap start.
We're moments away from race one. Graham, so far so good. I mean, it's championship time. There's a lot of pressure. We've chatted to Jason. He says he's going to have a go. Thoughts building into the weekend and now putting it on pole. Obviously, it's gone to plan so far, but what are we expecting going forward?
Now look, the times this weekend, we haven't done threes here for the last 2 years probably. So the times are quicker than ever. Trevor and Damien, I think, are on 3.5, 3.6. Then me 3.9, so it's very close. Jason, I think, on a 4 dead. It was crucial to get to the front row, so we managed to qualify third, but third is obviously against the pit wall, which is normally very slippery. I went and looked yesterday. It doesn't look bad, but I don't know what the surface is like. So it's the first job done. And then, you know, I don't know, do I just race Jason or do I race the front row? So I don't know. We'll have to see what sort of pace they come at. But to do a 3 here, you got to, on standard tyres, standard motorbikes, it's pushing the limits. So yeah, let's see how it goes for the race. And obviously, championship is first prize, but you know, once you get into a situation and there's a top 3 and you're mixing it, I don't know if you can back off and think championship and come third. I don't know.
Steve, it's been a huge improvement from last season that you found some time. Take us through the weekend so far and what we're expecting for the race, because the times are close in that bracket.
Well, it's very close, Cliffy. I mean, we came here on Thursday to try to get a little bit of practice in, but unfortunately it was rained out. So we couldn't hopefully jump on the Gen 5, so we stuck with the Ogle Gen 4. So, but yeah, we're getting down there. Last year my best was a 11.2, which is not bad but not great. And then this year we're in the 8s already. So let's see if we can get into the 7s, and I'm literally 0.5, maybe half second to a second from the mid-pack. So it's going to be an interesting start. I mean, the 4 guys in front are literally covered by nothing, by a sheet. The next batch is probably from all the 6s to maybe a low 7, and then it's us. So it's going to be turn 2. That's where I'll be to watch.
So what's your plan for turn 2? Because, you know, turn 1 doesn't mean much. You think you're flying, you get into turn 2, you get squeezed out. Where are you going to try and position yourself?
There's 2 ways, Cliffy. You can either take a gamble and go mid-track to outside and hope you don't get pushed out and then get the drive up down to the hill, up to turn 3 and 4. Or otherwise be defensive, which I might be mid-track to defensive and try keep it and just survive turn 2, and then we can plan our race.
Okay, I mean, I've just heard the call now. You've got 5 minutes till you go out. When are we going to see you on the new bike?
You know, Clifford, to be honest, I'm sort of messing myself around jumping between the 2. Let's finish the season on the Gen 4. Let's get some real pre-season testing on her, and then we can settle in.
So we have a 5 minutes of race time, new bike next season.